Hello diary. So, it's Friday evening, 5 p.m. First full day of our Triathlon week training course at Club Centre. So how's it so far? Well, lots to say. First thing is, on a point of administration, we have ants in the flat, so we're being a little bit careful about where we put stuff. It takes me back to living in the east end of London when we used to have ants in our flat. So they seem to like the kettle a lot. Anyway, moving swiftly on, we had our briefing session at 9 o'clock this morning, and we're formally introduced to everyone. Everyone seems like a very nice bunch of international people. There are a couple of late arrivals, I think, this afternoon from Denmark, I believe. And much to our amazement, they weren't all 6'5" tall and, you know, blonde. They were kind of like regular-looking people. Anyway, so we've had 3 things today. Now, the first thing to mention would be that I misread the agenda before, and we do in fact have 3 activities each day. I thought we only had 2 out of the 3 triathlon, but it's 3. So we've had a nice gentle run in the morning, which was just for 40 minutes. Then a break. And that was quite easy, by the way, for me, and I think Agatha took it easy also. Then we had a swimming session, which was very interesting because for some time I've known that my swimming technique was a little bit forced, and that my arm motions especially weren't really correct, as has been told to me in no uncertain terms by Tanya, who's an ex-world class triathlete, and she's mentioned the fact that my arms are in windmill motions of like, and it's all wrong. So she's breaking me in very gently about what I'm doing wrong. So first of all, she was telling me to keep my head in a certain more elevation than before, and then she sort of let slip that my arms were totally wrong, which I sort of knew. So she's given me some exercises, some drills to work on, which is great because I've never had that kind of thing before, and it's very interesting. We've been segregated in the swimming by ability. Agatha's in the sort of slightly better group than me, and I'm in group 3. There's groups 1 and 2 sort of combined, then group 3, then groups 4 and 5 and 6, or 6 being the best. So in order not to get relegated, I think I better make sure I try and adjust my swimming technique. It is very difficult if you've learned to swim in a certain way and you've then practiced that for, let's say, 5 or 10 years, to be told, you know, one day you're doing it completely wrong and you sort of have to start again. It's really quite mind-blowing, really. Anyway, so swimming is the activity I'm finding most difficult already. So then we had another break after the swimming, and then it was time for some cycling. So we've got our cycles from Pro Bike. We've adjusted them as best we can. I think both of our bikes, let's say, have got slightly long top tubes, so we're sort of like reaching, you know, too far ahead. So anyway, we've pushed the seats forward a bit to try and compensate. Anyway, we had a 30 or 35 kilometre cycle. It is quite hilly around here, but more than hilly, it's very windy. So I think the major challenge is the wind. Although it didn't seem to affect us today, because I think we were taking it quite easily. On the way down, it was particularly blustery in places, and I think that I noticed it more then when we were doing the ascents, funnily enough. So it's the end of the first day. We're still alive, no injuries, in good spirits. We need to have a shower and some food, and then there's a social meet-up at 8 o'clock. So overall, a fantastic first day, and there'll be further updates shortly.